You have now entered a new dimension through the expansion of the internet world. I am Johnny Allen, and this is the Johnny Allen Podcast Show. All right, show does start now. I hope our audio is working. This is a Johnny Allen Podcast / Videocast show. Welcome to November the 12th, 2020. And yesterday was Veterans Day, so a happy belated Veterans Day to all the veterans out there, men and women serving in our armed forces in the United States of America. Thank you very much for the ones that are serving currently and the ones that have served. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Heartfelt thank you from Johnny Allen, really, seriously. If it wasn't for you men and women out there doing what you have to do, what you volunteering to do, sacrificing so much, I can't even get into all of it. We could not do with the things I'm doing now and the things that we were doing, where our freedoms would be totally abolished. And we hope that we can hold on to those, right, for as long as we can. Anyway, without further ado, thanks for stopping by my channel. Thanks again to the veterans. And I'm Johnny Allen. I talk about everyday life situations, and I drink coffee. And here's one of the coffees I highly recommend. Diesel Coffee Company right there, Diesel Coffee Company. And you can get this coffee at www.shopdieselcoffee.com. Now the holidays are coming up. Go get your coffee up there. Tim does an excellent job. As you can tell, I'm drinking this right now. And there you go. This 2-bean blend is very smooth and a little bold. This is just a way to start your day, or you cap your evening like I'm doing right now. Thanks again, Tim, up there in Michigan. Yes, and it is Veterans Day, and we go back to the Navy. My son was in the Navy, and my great-uncle was in the Navy. God rest his soul, my great-uncle, and he was in World War II. There's USS Yorktown, the men and women on that ship back in WW2. You know, with the COVID and everything going on now, the pandemic, the political unrest, the nightmares, or whatever, this whole year's been, we kind of forget about our servicemen and women, don't we? So let's don't do that anymore. Let's take time out. Thank a veteran when you see him on the street. Thank the police and the fire department people, everybody, firemen, firewomen, whatever. People that serve, service people. Give them a shout out, man. They need that. They need that more than ever today. And with the holidays coming around, I got a snickerdoodle. Damn good too. Not really on the diet, but we're kind of fudging today. Kind of getting a pre-start on the holidays coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about the holidays coming up with the pandemic, how you guys are going to do with having the family and friends over this year. We'll touch on that. But mostly I want to talk about appreciation. I want to talk about the appreciation of the service people, right? I am a hospital worker. I am a hospital service person. Now, since the beginning of the pandemic back in April, March, we were called, we've been called the heroes, and I appreciate it, whatever. That's fine, whatever they want to do. I don't look at myself as a hero necessarily. These people that do this thing, our vets, to me, are heroes. The servicemen and women in the streets, police and everything, they're getting a bad rap these days. Firefighters, EMTs. You guys know what I'm talking about. To me, those are the heroes. Those are the heroes, right? Another snickerdoodle. Hope you guys don't mind. First time subscribing to my channel or checking in. Again, I'm Johnny Allen. I talk about everyday life situations. I have a laid-back show. I eat snickerdoodles on the show. I drink coffee. It's just like kind of you and I talking at our house. Just having a little intimate conversation. But my talking points today, I'm going to talk about, like I said, appreciation of and saluting heroes and just appreciating people that are in the service industry today, because, I don't think some of us, I feel like we don't get it like we deserve, right? And I'll touch base on that a little bit. We've kind of forgot about the pandemic, I think, a little bit, because, and this is why I'm saying this, because back in March and April, right, the pandemic was new and it was kind of surging. This time last year it was over in China, and we were kind of watching it over there, but it hadn't really hit the States yet, although I feel like it was here this time last year. But it really started taking off like after the holidays, right, after first of the year. And then when, it hit, of course, it got everybody's attention here, like, oh my gosh, and it went worldwide, and you guys know the story, right? But then as summertime came, we were aware of it. We started masking up, and everybody's going, yeah, take the precautions, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of nosedived a little bit, felt like, okay, probably around the, we probably, met the curve and probably, rounding the curve, and it's going down, and we kind of forgot about it. You guys get it, la-di-da, kind of let it go. Kind of got laxed, right, as a society, community. We kind of forgot about it. Well, I feel like since I'm in the healthcare industry, we haven't forgot about it as far as the PPE. The nurses haven't forgot about it, right? The doctors and the people that work up on the floors obviously have not forgot about it, because it's starting to spike back up again, right? So we have not forgot about it. I haven't forgotten about it. But you know what the point I'm trying to make is I feel like certain parts of leadership have forgotten about it. It's back to like status quo, right? Here's where I'm going with this, right? When you're working in a very stressful type environment, which I do, healthcare is one of them. It is. It's high, especially with the pandemic. Goes without saying, it's a high-stress job. Some people have a little higher stress positions in the hospital than others, but we all have our fair share of the stress. Okay, during the time of a pandemic and a stressful situation, do we really want things back to status quo? And what I mean by that is like our PPE and stuff, we don't. We're gearing up. We get a lot of stuff in. We got a lot of supplies now. Everything's good. We're kind of keeping up with it. We're treating people. We're getting them out of there as best we can. We're taking on these people and trying to get them well. That's our purpose. That's our mission. That's our goal. That's our ministry, whatever. I understand all that. But on the flip side of that, when it comes to certain parts of leadership, have they forgotten the working man? The guys like me on the floor, busting every day. The dedicated worker that's been there every day, never calls off, blah, blah, blah. Have we kind of forgotten about them? Because at the beginning of it, it was kind of laid back. And I'll explain here shortly. And you guys comment below on anything I have to say. At the beginning of the pandemic, everybody's like, oh, whoa, okay, cool. Yeah, we need to let them have time off. We need, stress was starting to hit. And they've been real good about letting us have PTO time. They don't really say much about it. So people have been taking a lot of the PTO, and that's good because they need it. But like in my situation where I'm at, in my area, if someone is off, it doubles and triples the work amount. So, which is okay. We step up to the plate. We do it. We understand it. People need their time off. I've had mine off. We need it, right? So we understand that. So we do step at the plate and we get it going. Well, when you do that, though, there's triple the amount of work on you, right? So when there's more work, there's bound to be more mistakes that happen, right? That's just common sense. If you have a lot of work piled on top of you, you're trying to, get the same amount of work done in the same amount of time with less people, mistakes are bound to happen. Okay, I get that. Things do happen. I make my fair share of them, and everybody else does too, even my bosses. Okay, here's where I'm going with this, guys. So if you make a mistake or two, should you let them have a little slack, no pun intended, a little grace? Or should you continue to go like it was before the pandemic? Well, you made a mistake. I'm going to expose it. I'm going to expose it in a negative way where I'm just going to bombard it and flash it in your face the first thing in the morning when someone comes into work. They're trying to get their day going. They're trying to get the positive attitude going. They're trying to get in gear, and without having a clog or a stumble in the wheel when you go, oh, whoa, when you hear negative news. So should management kind of refocus that? I feel like they should, especially during like a pandemic, because there's a lot of things going on. I'll explain. And everybody's had this situation. Okay, in my year so far, since this pandemic started, I've lost a best friend, almost like a brother of mine back in April, right? I talked about it many times before, to suicide, right? Because of, and partially and mostly because of the stress of the pandemic and working in the healthcare industry, and he just couldn't handle it anymore, and he took his own life. Well, that was very sad. But when that happens, it affects people like me. It affects the family, it affects the friends. I've lost 2 family members to disease. Okay, not COVID related, but, could have been a little bit. Anyway, you get my point. My daughter's in-laws right now have tested positive for COVID. Everybody's kind of walking on eggshells. Everybody's kind of stressed. There's been a lot of things going on. There's been a lot of tragedy this year, and that's not even counting the political front that the nation's going through right now. Okay, so you get where I'm going with all this. We're under a hell of a lot of stress. So if you make like 2 mistakes or 3, or a mistake at all, I mean, we're not robots. We're going to make mistakes, right? And it's not anything vital. It's not like a nurse that puts in the wrong IV and kills somebody. I mean, there are little things like you might have mismarked a box to go into a department or something. Okay, maybe an item got lost for a bit and it found its way home. No big deal. Nothing crucial. Nothing bad. Nothing crucial at all. Simple mistakes. Should you light up on your crew for that? I feel like you shouldn't. There's other ways of handling it. Especially, like I said, give some grace, some slack, some leeway during a pandemic, during a high stressful job. And when people are off, to recuperate and recharge your batteries, which our CEO tells us what we should do, which we do. When you're under those situations and the rest of the crew that remains behind working and they're under more stress and under more work, they make a little flub up, should you give them a pass during a pandemic, especially if it's not a big deal? Yes, you should. You should give them a pass. You should say, you know what? X, Y, and Z employees are really good. We never really have any problems with them. This is a ramped up time right now. This is a stressful time. They got a lot going on. See, they forgot to mark something here. Let it go. Oh, they might have received something. One thing they shouldn't have, should you let that slide? Yeah, I feel like you should. Let's have a little snickerdoodle with that. Thank you guys for allowing me to eat in front of you. Some people say that might be rude, John, but I keep it real here. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, comment below on anything I have to say tonight. Don't sweat the small stuff, so to speak. Don't sweat the small stuff. When your crew is really working hard and people are under a lot of stress anyway, you should let some things go. Let some things slide. Let them go. It's not a big deal. Just let it go. Doesn't need to be mentioned. Or if you mention it kind of a positive thing, yeah. Because you know what? My supervisors, they all make mistakes. Everybody does. If they say they don't, they're lying. Okay, they all do. So keep the morale up, keep the spirits up, especially during a bad time like this year's been. Don't do that. My suggestions to leadership out there, and give the service people some kudos. Recognize them, like men and women in the uniforms, right? Let's recognize these people. Let's don't be so caught up on ourselves and so mega focused on just us and me that you forget about the rest of the people that are around you. Because you're so focused on yourself. Don't do that. Don't do that. Have some compassion and feel what other people might be feeling. Because people don't know what's going on. Like with me, I got older parents I'm worried about with COVID. I got family members, friends that commit suicide. X, Y, and Z. I can go down the list of the stressors that just I have in my personal life. And I'm not the only one. There's a lot of people that have that. So when they're out there every day, I mean, with our job, listen, we have to wear a mask 8+ hours a day every day so when we're off. We've been doing this for 9 months. One of my coworkers said that too. She said, yeah, we've been doing this for 9 months. I said, yeah, she's right. We have been. And you know what? If you're sitting in an office or doing something like that and you're not out in the field in the hospital and or my job, I get around, I see things. I see a lot of things that are going on. And some of them aren't real pleasant, right? I mean, it's a hospital. We're taking care of people. There's people that are sick in there, dying in there. We see that stuff. it plays on the brain a little bit after a while, not counting everything else that you have to do, right? So when you're tucked up in the office and you're oblivious to what's going on, maybe you should get out and look around and see what's going on. I was in leadership for a while, and I went out in the field and experienced what my folks were doing. And if there was a problem or seen a problem, I would be compassionate and talk to them about it and say, hey, is there any way that we can make it better? Now, some of my management, upper management does do that, but some of the lower management does not. And I hate to say that, but it's true. Self-absorbed. And you ever notice, too, that when there's times of trouble, when times get tough, and this has nothing to do with workplaces, this is everywhere, that people will do things to make themselves look good. In other words, when you're insecure or you feel like, things aren't really going real well with you, you might try to dog on somebody else to make yourself look better. Well, look what I did. I scolded this person, or I did this, or I said this to this person, or I made this person look bad, or whatever. Make yourself feel good. I've talked about that before. Boy, is that really good karma or what? No, it's not. It's bad karma, man. Some people say, I don't believe in karma. Well, I've heard that on Facebook before, too. There's no such thing as karma, man. It's just bullshit, blah, 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 pardon my French. But no, there really is. Whatever you want to call karma, whatever. What comes around goes around, The old rat song, round and round. What comes around goes around. That is so true. So anyway, let's treat our people out there, service people, our fellow employees, management, whoever. Let's not forget there's a pandemic. Let's not forget that we're still in a pandemic, right? And it's surging up a little bit, not just here in the United States, all over. Now to shift gears, in line with the pandemic, and talking about giving people grace, and let's give kudos instead of non-kudos to people. Give some kudos. Recognize things that they're doing well and praise that. Because I'm telling you what, the positive thing goes a long way. If you got a lot of positive feelings going on and a positive atmosphere, a positive vibe, people are wanting to step up to the plate and work even harder and do their job and commit more and more and more instead of being, knocked down. When you're knocked down and put down, you don't want to do nothing. Then you just reject and rebel. It's almost like the old days where sailors were on a ship and they would mutiny the ship because the captains were treating them like crap. Maybe not feeding them right, treating them bad, complaining, moaning, groaning about the crew. And finally the crew just said, we're done. Mutiny. And that's what they used to do years and years ago on ships. But anyway, we have a pandemic. I hope you guys are staying safe with the pandemic going on. Now, the bright news is around the corner. As they look like they're going to have a vaccine. And some of you people are going, oh, no, it's too soon. No, not really. Pfizer says they got one coming up. And, a lot of people are going, oh, this is too soon. They're rushing it. It's going to. No. Guys, tell you what, they've been studying this COVID virus, COVID-19, COVID virus, the coronaviruses, the different families and relatives of the coronavirus, all these different strains of the coronavirus, right? The coronavirus cousin to the 19, whatever you want to call it, the different strains of coronaviruses, for a while now, for quite a while. It wasn't like they just said, oh, you know what, we're going to have a corona-19 virus come up, and we know nothing about it at all, absolutely nothing, no clue, we don't have a way of fighting it, we have nothing, and we're starting from ground zero. Now, they've been working on this for a while. They knew that something like this was going to happen, maybe not the exact coronavirus 19, this COVID-19 variety, but the close proximity to a coronavirus. They've been working on coronaviruses for a while. So they've had a lot of time, really, more than what you think, to get it going. So we just keep our fingers crossed that it's going to be correct, and I think it will be. But the thing is, even after the first of the year, and they started doing vaccines, still going to take the end of 2021 for things to get back to quote-unquote normal, right? So until that time, let's have grace on people, right? Okay, switching to the political front too now, and I hate to say this, but it's true. Our election in the United States for the first time, and I don't know when, this has been the biggest mess I've ever seen. And I don't care if you're happy that Joe Biden won. I don't care if you're not happy that Joe Biden won. I don't care if you're not happy that Trump didn't win, or you are happy that Trump did not win, happy or unhappy that Trump didn't win. You should say. Any way you look at the picture, any way you slice it, the way it was handled. Now you got to admit on both sides, even I mean, you got to look at it. I don't care like I said, what side of the party you're on. Even if you're pro-Biden, completely pro-Biden, and glad and happy the way it turned out, you got to look at this election the way it was run, and it's a debacle all the way around. They didn't know what they were doing. They still don't know what they were doing. It's a big mess, and they blame it on the coronavirus, mail-in ballots, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to get into the political part of it, but it's a mess. The bottom line I'm trying to say is this, guys. I see so much management, in government, in, healthcare, in businesses, just all over the place, the whole gamut, right? I see so much businesses and leaderships, like I said, whether it be the government on down, they just don't know what they're doing. Man, they don't know what they're doing. It's scary to think that we are the leader of the free world, which is shrinking, by the way. Excuse me. And here we are. We don't have a clue what's going on. When I say we, the government, the people that run the shows, everywhere. They just have not a clue what they're doing. Not a clue. And you know what? It comes to this. It comes down to this. It's this whole thing. There's a whole, just me thing again, right? Like management. Well, I got to look good, so I'll do whatever I can at any expense to hurt other people, whatever, to make myself look good. It's the same thing in like even the government. Well, we're going to win, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. We got to make ourselves look good. It's my team, that team, my team, this team, that team, this team. And what's it do? It just hurts people. It hurts people in general. It hurts the service people. Everybody. The general man, the ordinary man and woman walking the face of the earth. It's hurting them. You got these people in charge, and I question the calls they're making, all of them. I question that, guys. Comment below if you feel the same way I do. I question the calls on all this stuff. Things should be done, right, correctly, evenly, fairly, honestly, I'm not just talking the election. I'm talking everything. Giving people grace during hard times. When we have hard times, we work together. Have you seen that during the pandemic, the government in general, both sides working their tails off and forgetting about things, forgetting about themselves, right? The self-consumed thing on themselves. I'm talking about all of them, self-consumed. They don't want to give that up to help the sake of humanity. Does that make sense? And it even comes down to places of employment where we're helping sick people, but yet we forgot about the pandemic in a sense that, well, we forgot about the workers during the pandemic, right? Because at the beginning of the pandemic, we were getting all these nice things, free this, free that. And it was nice and everything, calling us heroes and all that stuff. That's all good. I even got a T-shirt there today that says, hey, you're a hero. Okay, whatever. Here's all I'm asking. Give me some grace. If I make a mistake, don't do this. Sometimes you got to let things just, like I said, go. For the sake of the whole environment, right? Does that make sense to anybody? Or is it just me? Comment below. You have to make things, safe and happy as much as you can. Positive. Maybe not even the world happy. I don't have to be happy, just positive environment. Come in the morning, you want positive things when you start your job. When you start your ride to work, you want positive things. You don't want that guy, tailgating you all the way to work. I even started this thing today, guys. Well, I started this positive music thing. I put together a CD of just all positive, happy music. I don't even turn on the news anymore. But before I let go of the podcast, I did talk about dieselcoffee.com, right? I got a couple other people I want to talk about too. Hey, listen, if you like sports, I gotta give kudos to my people, right? I call them my people, my friends. If you like sports, check out Box Kickers Talking Sports. Box Kickers Talking Sports down in Austin, Texas. Chris and Daniel, they do a great job. I have the links below. Woo, podcast of my friend Woody. Check it out. Very good. Starting to move up along with the Box Kickers. It's all doing good. I have the links below. Now, before I close tonight, guys, I always talk about Sean James and My Self Reliance. If you have not had a chance to go see on YouTube, check out his channel, My Self Reliance. Sometimes, like during this pandemic and stuff, when you're having like a tough time on the job or whatever, and you feel like everybody's getting on your nerves and getting on your butt, and you're not getting the recognition, you're not, you can't de-stress or whatever. I always think about living the lifestyle of Sean James like him. I'm not saying he's trying to get away from everything, but man, the guy's got a great idea. And not everybody can live that kind of life like he's living, but you know what? He is gracious enough to share his life with us, or part of it, and some beautiful photography and videos of where he lives. And if you get a chance, check it out. It's a good way to escape. I even love the music, man. I pulled some of the music off his, sorry, Sean, but I pulled some of the music off his channel and made a CD of it, just played in my car because I just love the relaxation. And it's kind of like Appalachian kind of music, too. It's just really great. Anyway, if you get a chance, check out My Self-Reliance. I will remember to share the links below on all that stuff, guys. Listen, that's all I got today. Let's just have some gratitude for the service people, the men and women. Veterans Day was yesterday. Show some love. Bosses, give your employees a break, especially if you work in the service industry, especially in healthcare. You know what we're going through. Cut us some grace, cut us some slack, no pun intended, right? Just, don't sweat the small stuff. There's just ways to be able to enlighten and enrichen your crew. That's it. Enlighten and enrichen your crew. Don't make them feel this big. Make them feel this big, right? That just goes such a long way with no matter what. Compliments, everything. I talk about this stuff every week. It's so true. Man, if there's one thing I could do to change the world, that's what I would do. And if my little message gets out to 2 or 3 people, I'm happy, right? Just get the message. Maybe it'll spread. Let's bring joy and happiness to this troubled world, man. Everything from the governments, down to the working class stiff like me that's just trying to make a living and get by and just trying to live as happy as I can. And you know what? And, like I said, Sean James has got the right idea to get away, and you got to do that sometimes, right? I was going to talk a little bit about the holidays, but I'll get there next week. We're getting close to Thanksgiving. I'm running out of time. Hey, listen, thanks again for liking, subscribing, and stopping by my channel. I'm Johnny Allen. You guys have a great life. Remember grace, and don't sweat the small stuff. So let some things go once in a while, right? Like I say every week, Lord willing, I'll see you next week. Don't forget to say thank you to a veteran out there. And you don't have to just do it on Veterans Day. You can do it all the time. I did that today. I called my son who's a veteran. I texted my uncle who's a veteran. And I said hi in person or said Happy Veterans Day. I say hi too, but Happy Veterans Day in person to some of the veterans I know around the workplace. So, like I said, shake a hand to a veteran. I mean, lend a hand. Whatever it takes. Just let them know that you are thankful for what they do and what they've done. Because I'm telling you, man, they go beyond the call of duty, so to speak, to safeguard us and our freedoms and everything, And we have forgotten, like I said, with this pandemic and the political arena and that we've been, having for 4 years. And I'm not blaming any person in particular. All of them are guilty of it. We have not sat back and just recognized the small stuff and recognized what the people behind the scenes like myself are doing. And so many people like this, we don't recognize, really, really, really recognize what they're doing. And I'm not talking like a pizza once in a while. We just really need to step it up. Everybody step it up and say, hey, listen, man, you're part of the crew, man. You're doing a good job today. Thanks for what you're doing. Thanks for what you're doing. Recognition. That's it. It's all about positive recognition. That's all I got today, guys. See you next week. You know who, willing. Later.